If you use an electrolyte like this, you might be paying between $600 and $1,000 a year to keep that habit up. I'm going to show you how to make your very own for only 15 cents per serving. I'm going to tell you how to get the exact ingredients that you need. I'm going to explain what each one of these ingredients are doing for your body. So let's get right into it. This is a batch recipe that's going to make 30 servings. If you make it just like I do here, you're going to use about 1 heaping teaspoon per 16 ounces of water and just mix that around. Each of these servings, you're going to get about 510 milligrams of sodium, 375 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And this should be a really close match to the functional hydration profile of drinks just like liquid IV sugar-free. All right, the first ingredient we're going to talk about is salt. And salt is the main ingredient here. We're going to use 39 grams or 6.5 teaspoons of this Redmond fine sea salt. And I pre-measured that out. I'm going to just mix it in this jar so when we get done, we can just shake it up and be ready to go. You can use, I'm putting both measurements on here, so you can use your teaspoons and tablespoons if you want to. But if you do have a small scale, obviously this will be a little more accurate if you're able to use that scale, but you can use it either way. The salt is super important in this hydration drink because it has, it's going to support muscle function and nerve signaling. And this one's free of additives, unlike other table salt, so it's going to have like a cleaner taste. So salt is super important. We're going to move on next to magnesium malate. Now, magnesium malate, we're going to use 12 grams or 3 teaspoons of this. And I'm going to put this in the mix here. Magnesium malate is going to help your cells to produce energy by feeding the malic acid right into the ATP cycle, which is the cycle that makes the energy inside the cell. Magnesium is also super good for reducing cramps, helping your muscles to relax, and supporting your nervous system all over. So it helps you to stay calm, focused, and balanced. And this kind of magnesium malate is also gentle on the stomach, especially at these like lower electrolyte doses. If you do prefer magnesium glycinate, which I know some of you do, you told me, I'll show you the substitution for that at the end of the video, just to keep it simple here. All right, the next thing we're going to put in there is potassium chloride. We're going to put 22 grams or 4 teaspoons of potassium chloride in the mixture. This is going to also support proper nerve function, helping with signaling of the nerve. It's going to work with the sodium to help with muscle contraction and relaxation normally. This is going to help you to prevent cramps and weakness, especially if you're fasting or sweating a lot. And the potassium chloride is also really good for the regulation of your heartbeat. So the rhythm of your heart, the electrical signals that are firing to make your heart beat, the potassium chloride is going to help out with that. All right. And these are the 3 main ingredients for the electrolyte. So truthfully, you could just stop right there if you can bear the flavor of this and have servings of that for an electrolyte drink. But in this recipe, I'm going to show you how to make it actually taste good too. So the next thing we're going to put in it is citric acid. Now this citric acid, we're going to add about 10.5 grams of citric acid, which is 2 2/3 of a teaspoon. Now citric acid is going to add some more tartness, and this is going to make the solution a little more acidic, which is going to enhance the mineral absorption. But the most important thing is it's going to act as a natural preservative. It's going to make this powder last longer. So if you don't use it all right away, this is going to kind of help to preserve it. I do want to give you a word of warning. I have accidentally put too much of this before. You do not want to do that. Measure this very carefully, because if you have too much in there, it'll taste like battery acid and it will be awful. So word to the wise on that. All right, now we're down to the fun part. We're going to talk about flavors and how to sweeten this naturally with something that's a little more healthy. And we're shooting for this raspberry lemonade flavor. Before I talk about how to do that, if the video is helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Let's jump right into it. All right, first we have this raspberry powder here. This stuff is just freeze-dried raspberries that have been smashed up, so really natural. We're going to put 9 grams of that in.
That looks cool.
That smells really good. And then next up, lemon juice powder. This is ingredients, organic lemon juice powder. That's it. So we're going to put 9 grams of the lemon juice powder in also, and that's it for the flavor. So it's just all natural, just raspberries and lemons in there. And lastly, we need to sweeten this thing. Now, not everybody wants it sweet. So you could, again, stop right here if you don't want any of the sweetness, but there's a lot of tart inside here. So it's probably going to be much tastier, and that is 120 grams or about a half cup plus 2 tablespoons of this monk fruit and allulose blend. There's 0 calories in this, so that's a cool part about it. And I'm going to mix this sweetener in the other part. And then we just mix this up. I like to do that in a mason jar so that when we're done, we can just mix it up, and boom. We have our, look at that. Look how much is in there. That's going to last for a while. So how many servings of this can you have a day? Most adults can have 2 to 4 servings, no problem. If you're doing heavy workouts, you're sweating a lot, you're outside in the sun, you can bump that up to 4 to 6 servings a day. Then you should tolerate that. The limits of sodium and potassium and magnesium for most healthy adults, you're still going to be within range on that. As a little bonus, I know some of you with stomach issues prefer it when I use magnesium glycinate in these recipes instead of the malate. So if you want to use magnesium glycinate instead, use 13 grams of magnesium glycinate. And if you use that instead of this malate, that's perfectly fine. But remember, it's one or the other, not both, because then it will be too much magnesium. You kind of start to overload your body at some point. Guys, as always, you can find a link to these exact ingredients inside the description on this YouTube video, and that helps me out if you use those links. I hope this helps you save some money. I'll see you guys soon with some more videos. I did make another video recently on how to make LMNT or something very much like it. I'll link that up here if you want it, and I'll see you guys soon.